Hey guys, it's a very subdued Ben here from Second Dynasty. Yeah, what can I say? It is springtime, and the birch trees have got me a little bit blocked up at the moment. I'm having some serious allergy issues today. Albin is at home sick. He had a bit of a COVID scare. Just got the test results back today, and he's negative, fortunately. Lieselot is back in the office this week, which is great. But in general, too, it's a little bit of a more stressful time than I've anticipated, and that's probably why I'm a little bit more beat down than usual. Um, I usually am involved in running the Trollywood Animation Festival, or at least organising it, sorry. And this year I've had a very reduced role because I wanted to dedicate more time to this project. However, the moderator was unable to make it, so I've been asked to hop in and do that next week, and consequently, now it's a very stressful time. Um, it'll be fun. It's a digital festival, so there's no real issues with that. But there is still a lot to do planning wise and whatnot, and it's going to eat a little bit into my time. Although I have talked to Brian, the painter, Brian Jenkins, and he is away next week, so hopefully things sync up that despite the fact that we're running a little late on the Type S prototype, it's pretty close to completion. Um, I have just started today working on the turret. The model that I'm going after is the hybrid model. This is the reference issue image that I'm using, although a slightly different configuration. Here we have the laser, presumably, missile launcher, presumably, and I'm assuming the chaff is hidden on the other side. Sorry, sand caster. So basically, I it's been a couple of weeks since I got an email back from Mark Miller, the Traveler King or Emperor, however you like to put it. In any case, we had planned a somewhat larger. I can maybe turn in the channel box on some of the older stuff. Should fill up the scene with a bunch of crap, which is why it's paused. Um, you can kind of see here. Here was the stand-in turret we had. You can see the size difference here between it and the one that I'm working on now. Zoroma actually kindly did a version of the turret that could fit a battery and have a light in it, but it ended up being much larger. That wasn't Mark's preference. He said, let's forget about lights in turrets this time. So I'm sure we'll implement that at some point in the future, if nothing else, for our other ships. But yeah, there has been quite a bit of evolution, and I have my list of things that still need doing before the end of things. We need to do the forward landing gear. That needs to happen. We know approximately how we're going to do it. We just haven't implemented it yet, and that's something that probably Albin would have looked at. We need to finish the turret. We'll take a brief look at that now in a minute, a little closer. The turret munitions in the upper deck, the staterooms are more or less where I think they need to be to start with. We'll have alternate variants available for the alternate interiors available as stretch goals. The crew commons is still just blocked out, and I've had a lot of great feedback from the Traveller RPG Facebook group. That's a great place for Traveller stuff if you guys are interested in it. The machinery, we need to take. Well, let's actually. I should be visualizing this. So let's get off the turret level, so we can see in here. If I take off the top hull as well. So a couple of things we need to do here. Mark had the feedback that this style of fusion power plant implies that there is some kind of thrust out the back of it, so we may have to change this to the more traditional sort of like half egg sized one also seen in T5. I don't know. I mean, we'll keep this model and make it available to some degree, I'm sure. But yeah, we still need a few more like cables and pipes and things to come up. We still need to put in the munitions, so the missile racks and the sandcaster racks. We're just going off the images that are in T5 that have been provided to us. So there's a couple of different variants that we can do, but we do also have some limitations. So let's take that back down, turn off the upper deck floor, and let's look at engineering, because here there's been quite a bit of work this week. I have done the maneuver drives myself. As you can kind of see, they fit into the wall. I have test printed it, aside from the cabling going up to the level above, which is feedback from Mark. I have this unit printed out here, so it prints out nicely. It's going to have an open lock slot in the bottom there, and it's just going to connect into the floor, because from here to here and then in a square we should be able to lift that out so you can access the deck below, right? But still to be done is to take all of these great objects done by Albin. He has been a bit bogged down with the landing gear problem, but it has been a fruitful problem. Basically, yeah, this all needs to be made printable and combined, and as you can kind of see, it's all separate objects at the moment. That can take a bit longer than you might expect. What else do we have on the list? Rear lighting is done, so Zorima has sent me some new parts where we'll be able to fit AA batteries instead. I've test printed this last night. It does unfortunately have some overhangs and needs quite a bit of support. I think there is definitely stuff that we can do to improve that by turning this back plate into its own separate thing, but right at the moment I'm just so overloaded with stuff. I think the version I send to Brian will have the version I've just printed out, and for the full production version we may have it so that there's a plate here that contains this section that just either clips or slots in rather nicely there, which will also improve the quality of the back plate, because at present it prints out flat like this, and that plate would be able to print out vertically, I imagine. So the benefits of using the AA over AAA over the coin cell is the AAAs are a little easier to recycle and have reusable batteries, and then the amperage has led to a much brighter light. I'd say it's about 3 times as bright. For the 4 lights, it really feels like engine wash in the images that that Zorima has sent. So yeah, that's done. The machinery is one of them. The floors, many of the floors are still just like these ones are done, but a number of the combinations need to. Well, let's see. Maybe I should just let's see. We go to our references. Bear with me, guys. So if I turn off the machinery there, you can see that we have these floors in, and I've just taken some of this like warning strip base to use as the base, but these are just the top plates at the moment. I haven't integrated with the bases, so that needs to happen. We still need to do the crew commons. It's just a block out at the moment. There's been great suggestions as mentioned, but probably what I'll ultimately do is just gut out some of the stuff from our power ships for now, because we're just way over time, and then we'll have some variants in the actual campaign. We have very simplistic rooms at the moment. You can see they actually fit the minis for once. It's just slightly longer. Single beds for now. We'll have bunks in stretch goals. The refresher, if I kill the shadows here, we have the refresher unit done up there. I just need to add a sink, which is also on my list. And then I also need to revisit the landing gear doors, because when we were printing them out the first time, it was a misprint. Well, rather, the printer was very wobbly, the belts were loose, and it led to the doors being a lot looser when they're printed correctly. So yeah, and then I do need to add the doors as well. I haven't put that down yet. They should be functional, but they need test printing. So the idea was we were supposed to have this finished and posted today. That hasn't happened. And due to the festival, the remaining parts, Albin being out for 2 days, I think we're probably looking at an additional, like, probably the end of. We've got about a fortnight left, probably, like 2 weeks, unfortunately. However, I think Albin focusing on the landing gear really has paid off. I will show you why now. As I've actually switched this one out. This is now the high detailed version that's going to Brian. Let's see if I've got enough cable here. And as you can kind of see from the hull details, it's a lot nicer. And the really beautiful thing is you can see the landing gears actually function. So these are the extended landing gear. Same on the other side. A few parts missing, of course, but that's an exciting development, I think. And they are slightly loose at the moment, but we can refine that, I'm sure. And yeah, like, it's paid off. He's done really well with them. I wish I had all of the files integrated, but I don't dare show off the wrong one. But it has this really nice locking mechanism where it just clicks into place. It is a bit loose in the vertical if you lift the ship, so you kind of got to set it before you put it down. But so far, it's very stable and it bears the weight well. So, yeah, he's done a great job. So, I'm going to keep this fairly short today, guys, because it's very hard to focus. Like I said at the top of the show, I know there's quite a few people in there now that I just have the allergies going nuts today. So yeah, I'm going to cut this short here. I probably will save this because this serves as a nice general update for the ship. Let's turn back on our turret, our top hull. You can now see... Oh, what's that? I don't know if that's supposed to be there. But in any case, yeah, you can kind of see where it's heading, what the new turret's going to look like. It'll still be compatible with our other turrets, so if you want to stick this on any of our other ships, you'll be able to. The solution I'm going for, yeah, that's what I was going to bring up, is that in general, we're going to have this sort of circle here. And if you imagine this to be a sphere that kind of continues on, you can kind of see like the halfway point is more underneath here, and the sphere would continue there. So, whoops. Let's see, and I didn't want that isolated. So the idea being that these weapons would be on a sliding piece that can move up to an azimuth of 180 degrees, right? You need to load your missile fairly central, because you need to get that ammunition up, presumably horizontally, which is quite difficult. Though the direction of the missile matters less. So I don't know if this will be the ultimate thing or if I'll broaden it out a little bit more. What I think I'll probably do is implement this based on this sort of graphic, or what I can interpret from it, as a base version, and then we'll just have a bunch of different turret variants, more in line with the ones presented here, and then the Sandcaster, I guess, as well. So yeah, not too much of an update this week, and unfortunately, because of the Animation Festival, we will I will not be able to stream on Friday because I'll be streaming the festival as the moderator. So I'm hoping the pollen isn't as bad next Thursday and Friday when it is. If you want to know about that Animation Festival in general, it is open to whoever they want to come. If you're interested in animation, it could be interesting. You go to trolleywoodanimatio.se. The festival is in English. I'll write that in here. If anyone wants to take a look, I will be involved in that. So, Hopefully, it was still an interesting, albeit brief, update. I want to thank Zorma especially for his efforts in getting their AAA lighting. I see you're in the chat, mate. Thanks. Um, and yeah, hopefully next time. I'd like to say I'd prefer to stream sometime next week to make up for the missing time, but it is going to be a very stressful week, so I can't commit to anything right now. Anyway, hope you guys understand, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.